Hi everyone, and welcome back to another online Jiu-Jitsu workout class. I hope everybody is doing well, staying healthy and safe, and managing to stay with us as we continue with these online workout classes and slowly manage, hopefully, to work our way back towards dojo practice. So let's get ready for class. Box up. So you have 8. Onegishimasu. Hands on your belt or your hips. Head to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Dai, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Head back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down. Look right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Tilt right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Any way you need it. And shoulders forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Alternating. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Elbows up, back. Ich, ni, san, forward. Ich, ni, san, forward. Ich, ni, san, forward. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, back. Ich, ni, san, back. Ich, ni, san, back. Left hamni, right hand forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And die. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Natural stance, both hands in. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Left hamni, right hand in. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Shake it in, shake it out, side to side. Punch. And die. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Shake it in, shake it out, side to side. Punch. Natural stance, elbows against your chest. Both in. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Shake it in, shake it out, side to side. Double punch. Hips to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Stretch back. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rux, ich, hachi, ku, ju. Back hands overhead. Forward. Chest to your right knee. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rux, ich, hachi, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rux, ich, hachi, ku, ju. And maybe go a little wider, ready for torso rotations to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And die. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And standing split. Elbows to the mat. Rocking. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back on your heels. Pivot left. Aye. Back to center. Elbows to the mat. Rocking, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, hitch, hitch, ku, ju. Back on your heels. Pivot left. Right. And come up to Shikadach. Breathe in. Out. In. Out. Drop your right shoulder, look at your right fingers. Thigh. 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 Extend your right foot for side kick. Rotate your hips forward. Thigh. And thigh toes up. Thigh. Thigh all the way down. Thigh. 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 And dropping into hurdler stretch. Face left, hands together, reach together. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Sit up straight, twist right. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Thigh. Face right, hands together, reach. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Sit up straight, twist left. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. And thigh. Keep in front if you can, safely. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. And thigh. Forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Feet in front. Pick them up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Reach deeper. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Sit up straight, twist right. Left. Feet apart. Turn right, hands together, reach together. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Center. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist right. Twist left. Reach right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Center. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And bring them in, right over left. And massage your toes, ball of foot, instep and arch, heel, calf. Rotate clockwise, counterclockwise. Shake, shake, shake. Cradle, rocking, stretch, and put it down, thigh, toes, ball of foot, instep and arch, heel, calf. Rotate, reverse, shake, cradle and rock, stretch, and put it down. Dear me. So we're going to get ready for our jackknife, so get your space, whatever you need to get ready. You can do the back fall safely, do it. Ready, hi. Jackknives, hajime, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And under butt, scissors slow and wide, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Leg raises, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Knees to chest, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Flutter kick, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Raise them up, legs straight, feet on your belly, fists by your cheekbones, legs down slowly, and relax. Shake loose anything you need to loosen up. Head off the mat, right knee in, and rotate your ankle while you're here. The opposite. Hook behind your knee, put it down, twist. And thigh. Rotate. Hook and twist, put it down. Both knees in, rocking. Stretch. Heels in, bridge. Hands by your shoulders all the way up. And sort out whatever you need to sort out. So before we get ready for our push-ups, I just want to point out, just as a point of interest, one of the reasons we try and be consistent with our workouts, I know I do variations, sometimes I'll do the cradling, sometimes I won't, but mostly they're pretty consistent. And the reason for that is that if you do the same thing, not only are you continuously developing the same muscles and same stretches, but you're also evaluating your body every time you get ready for class. So if you do something and you can't do it as well as you could normally, then you know that, maybe there's something that you need to be concerned about, or need to, be light on that knee today, or maybe that there's an issue arising with some part of your body, or also so you can feel the progress, you can feel yourself improving as you go along. I can do 10 push-ups today when I could only do 9 last week and 8 the week before, stuff like that. So you should always be continuously aware of your body, and when we're doing these workouts, it's not just a chore to get through to do a stretch and to gain muscle strength, but it's a moment to evaluate yourself and check out your body, because we're doing the same things over and over again. You become very aware of how well you're doing them and what it should feel like, and if something isn't feeling quite right, then you know to maybe hold off on doing certain things so you don't overstress yourself. Okay, so let's get ready for our push-ups, and again, if you can do the face fall from Kiza, do so. Ready? Hi. Push-up position, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, one more, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, hold it, slowly down, up, and die, and die. Turn around, drop your knee, and fix whatever you need to fix. Left tummy, go to gash. Thigh. Again, this is a moment you can evaluate your body, your stretch, your harmony, your balance, and thigh, your breathing, your alignment, and of course doing the technique correctly. And thigh, and thigh, knee Q, thigh. Thigh. So in these moments of reflection you can think, oh well, if I bring it this way, does it release it or does it make it worse? If I bring it up, does it release it or make it worse? Forward, backwards. Minute differences in throwing your balance on or off, applying the lock on or off, etc. Thigh. Thigh, Shihanagi. Thigh. Thigh, finger wrist stretch. Thigh. And shake it loose. I'm getting ready for Tai Sabaki. And we've been concentrating on different elements of our Tai Sabaki and our hitch step pivots. So what I want you to concentrate today on is, just like the last class, making sure that you're in a straight line, that your ankles are brushing each other, but also that when you turn, you're not rocking back. This is the most common fault with our Tai Sabaki, that we're using our back leg to break our forward momentum. So we end up leaning down on our back leg. And the way to fix that, especially for you senior students, is to make sure that when you're doing the pivoting, as you're still pushing from your back leg, you're pivoting and you're transferring your weight onto that front foot. So notice there's almost no weight on my back foot. So when I bring it into place, it just sits there, right? I don't have to transfer weight to it and then back to my 50-50. So think of digging that foot in and grinding it into the ground as you turn, and that'll really help you transfer the weight onto that. Okay, so ready? Remember, arms flow free, but don't let them go behind your body. Itch. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Ku. Ju. And thigh. Itch. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Ku. Ju. And thigh. So I'm going to stay in this stance so you can see by the camera. So again, we're going to do our hitch step pivot. And again, same thing to think about this time. We've been concentrating a lot on our turning and our locking into position. We also want to make sure we're not rocking back, right? So there's still this tendency as we do our pivot, as we're digging in our front foot, to stay on that and not have our weight on what becomes our front foot. So again, what you need to do in this case is you dig in, but as you dig in, you start pushing so that you're transferring onto that new front foot. So as you do that lock, you should also be transferring weight. Okay, so left foot forward, slow count first. Itch. ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hatch, Q, Ju, and thigh. And there's also a tendency to lock out that back foot in order to transfer that weight. You're better off dropping into it into both knees. So try and not have a straight back leg. It's hard to do, but try and do it along with everything else. Ready, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hatch, Q, Ju. Die. So hitch that pivot, fast count, and just make sure you do full rotations. Ready? Hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hatch, Q, Ju, die, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hatch, Q, Ju, and yeah. Okay, so we're going to continue on. I know many of you weren't in the last class. We did a lot of work with our kata gash entries. So today we're going to look a little bit at our Nikyu entries. And for those of you who don't know, Nikyu is where we take Uke's hand. So this is the one we do rotated towards our face. We take their hand and we want to try and make a 90 degree and a 90 degree here, and then rotate it so it starts to separate out their ankle or their wrist bones. So Uke is here, and depending on which attack, we approach it slightly differently. I'm going to just tie off Uke's hand here so that they don't rotate away from me. So pretend you don't see this other hand. So we're going to start out with our super basic, which is a lapel grab. And, you know, lapel grab, we always say, is somewhat of a gift because they're giving away their hand. They're saying, here, take my hand. But why are they doing that? Well, they're doing that because they probably want to go, hey, boom, right? Or, hey, keep me your money, boom. But really, it's a way of them holding you and coming in. But what we say is they're giving us their hand because now only one of their hands is available to strike you, right? Because one of them is occupied doing something that has very little impact on you other than being threatening. So it's not that horrible a thing. So we're going to be, actually let me switch the hands here so you can see from the other side. So I'll just let the Uke rotate for now. Pretend they're not rotated. So if they have grabbed my lapel here, my left foot is forward, I'm in pomni, they've stepped forward, so now their right foot is forward. I'm going to put my boots there just so you can see that. We're not going to do anything with their feet, just for the purposes of demonstration. So their left or right foot is forward and their right hand is forward. And what we want to do here is we want to take that arm and take it with us so that they come off balance. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to actually do anything, is we're just going to step back. So remember when we're talking about stepping and hitch stepping, step backing is like stepping, we mean that one foot is going to go past the other, and hitch step means that their relationship stays the same, whichever is front stays front. So it's just a way that we describe. So when I say step back, it means that the front foot becomes the back foot. And so what we're doing is we're creating distance, but we're also going to bring them with us. And so the idea is that Uke is grabbed onto us and we're saying, okay, you want part of me? Keep it. And I'm going to hold your hand there. And in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our web of thumb and finger, and just as if we were going to drink from a glass of water, but we miss our face because our elbow never moved and it comes up short. So we don't want our elbow changing position. Our hand is going to come up from underneath and take their wrist and help pin that to our chest, so that as we move back, Uke can't really move, but Uke is going to come with us, right? And those of you that are acquainted with this technique, why don't you just go ahead and start fitting in for it as I explained to JD the nuances of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up like this, and as we step back, we're going to slap them in the face and slide our hand down their arm. And again, just like I said, we're going to use the web of our hand to grab them. We're going to use the web of our hand to slide down their arm, coming over the top. And the reason we do that is that as we come over the top, we want to turn it. Right? So as I come over the top, I'm going to slide down. This way I'm taking the little finger edge of their hand, which is like this, and I'm taking it and I'm turning it so that it's on top and their thumb is now pointing down. So when we do it at class, we start with our thumb down. We're putting their hand into that position, taking it from there and turning it over. So we'll just iterate that a few times. Everybody, we're going to start out imagining they're coming for us. So the idea is they're coming for us. We're going to catch them, slide back and bring our hand in. And then for those of you who know the second step, you can go ahead and do that part too. But JD, you can just practice with me just doing the first part. So it looks like this. We're going to start out just with our hands in either Bokken position or better down, because this way we can just come up from below. So they're coming for our left side of our lapel, and we're going to step back with our left foot and come underneath. We're going to bring our right hand sliding down, take their wrist, turn it over, and then we're going to step back in. Now when I say step, I don't mean step over something. Our foot still needs to stay on the ground, so you're still sliding along the ground, but our back foot becomes our front foot. Again, left foot forward, Uke attacks. We're going to come underneath and come over the top of the other hand, turn the hand over, and come back in. Again, step back, come underneath, come over the top, take their hand, turn it over, step back in. Again, one more time, broken down, step back, come underneath, come over the top, step back in, and apply if you know how to apply. So it's all one action. We're not going 1, 2, 3. We're going 1. And this arm is extending, coming back to us. So we're pulling them with us. So we're turning it into a big movement, right? So we're from here, and we want to get them like this, as far off balance as possible, with their wrist as vulnerable as possible. And the stepping back in is what turns it into the 90-degree angle. So again, don't worry about that part. So we're just going to iterate that quickly. So we're going to go 1 and back, 2 and back. So let's do it like that. I'll set up my camera angle like this. Ready, itch, and back, knee, and back, san, and back, shi, and back, gu, and back, look, and back, sich, and back, hatch, and back, ku, and back, ju, and back. Okay, so I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritties of the actual lock, because without an uke, it's almost pointless. You're going to be teaching yourself bad practice. But for the purposes of elucidation, so you understand what's happening, is uke's hand is like this. I turn it over. I hold it like this, basically, against my chest. And I use my body to help come in. And it's going to break that bent or straight arm into a bent arm. And then I'm going to rotate it this way, using a body drop and a knee drop, right? So it's all about applying the body. But don't worry about that unless you know what you're doing. Just go ahead and add that into it. So let's do the right side. So right foot forward. Again, hands just in a basic low guard. We're going to step back and come underneath, come over the top, turn over the wrist, and step back in. Again, step back, come from underneath, bring it, turn it over, and step back in. There's a little bit of a hip movement there, so as we go back, we turn out slightly, so that we can use that hip movement to help turn the wrist over, and then we step back in. And again, those of you who know what you're doing, you can complete the technique in terms of doing the drop and application. Again, step back, bring it to you, turn it over, step back in. One more broken down, step back, come from below, bring it to you, turn it over, step back in. And now let's do that 10 times fast. Ready, itch, and back, knee, and back, san, and back, shi, and back, go, and back, rook, and back. Just so you know, you should be going back much further than you're needing to step back in. You don't need to step all the way back in with a huge big follow-up, and I'll explain that to you why in a second. Rook, back, seach, and back, hatch, and back, Q, and back, Ju, and back. Okay, so for some of the finer points for other students to consider when you're doing this, when you turn over, first of all, you don't want your elbow up like this, right? So now you're vulnerable. So even though you want to be turning over this, you want to be doing it as you're coming back, right? So that it only goes to here, and you're going to drop it to turn it over as you do that hip turn. So you can use that hip turn and drop, elbow drop, to turn the wrist over. You don't want to be trying to do it out here and yank it, right? Because now it's not a very strong arm movement. It's not a place where you've got really strong muscles. You're relying on your shoulder muscles. And they could be like really strong arming you and you can't do it. So you want to apply your body, and you want to keep it against your chest. So when you turn it over, pin it to your chest. So when you come in, use your chest to do it. Now, everybody knows that I always complain about people jumping the elbow. So you're stronger with two arms, right? Or two hands. So you're better off pinning it to your chest and using your two hands, and using your body entering to break the elbow connection. If they strong arm you, and you've got their wrist and you're coming in, and they go like this, and you tip them over, hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can do plenty of techniques from there. That's basically them doing that and say, hey, I'm turning away from you and leaving my arm out. So it's not the worst thing. You don't need to force break the elbow. And once you step back in, you want to step back in at least in front of their toe, if not between their feet. I like to go all the way between their feet. So that's right down the center. That folds them up even more. But sometimes if you're very far out to the side, you can't really do that. And we're going to experience that in the next version of this technique. So, with the second version, which is, maybe more realistic, it depends on your attacker. Lapel grab isn't the smartest thing, and they already have to be pretty close to you in order to do that. Another version of it will be if they grab your wrist. So now they're a little bit further away, right? And again, grabbing your wrist is a fairly common thing for somebody to just grab your wrist and then want to attack you. They don't have to be as close to you, and depending on what you're doing, if you've got your cell phone, you're looking like that, your hands might be out from your body and more available to be grabbed. Whatever the reason, they've grabbed your wrist. And we were just doing our kodagashes in the last class. So now we're going to do the opposite, which is our moving in for our Nikyu. So what we want to do is we essentially want to put them in the position we were just in. In order to do that, we need to bring our chest to the back of their hand. So we need to both turn them over and get there, at the same time getting away from their potential attacking hand. So this time you don't want to be like in front of them, right? You want to actually take it off to the side. So if they're attacking with their right hand against your left hand, again their right foot is more forward, we're going to move to the outside of their right foot so that we're further away from there, and we can affect their wrist more from this position in terms of folding it into that 90 degree. But we don't want to be too far over, because if we're too far over, it doesn't fold as much from there, and it's easier for them to resist. So they want to be resisting. If I'm going to rotate towards the camera here, right? If they're resisting like this, or if they can resist more like this, they're going to be resisting no matter where they are. But if they're here at the 45, it's much harder to resist, because it's much more likely that their arm is going to fold up as you come in down this center line on the inside of their foot. So, that said, they grab the wrist, just like we did with the cross-hand kodagash last time, and we turned over and we pointed our fingers at their throat. We're going to do the same thing here. I'm grabbing onto this so that I've got a way of holding on. But just imagine yourself going from here to here, right? So, again, elbow's not moving. I'm just moving, and I'm going to come here. And already you can see, even in this uke that has no muscles, they're folding into that position that I want them to be in. Their hand is on top, but it's on top of me like this, and it's starting to be thumb down, little finger up. The more you can turn them over, the easier it is for you to grab it and come on top of it and put your chest against it. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to slide in and to the side, which, just like in every technique we do, when we come in and to the angle, you have to reposition yourself. So, come in, reposition, turn over the hand, bring it to the hand waiting on your chest. Again, the most common thing is that people grab it and try and work out here. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand on your chest like this, like you're halfway in a prayer, and just a little bit offset to the side. And you're going to bring that into that position. Just like with Kodagash, I say bring it into here. Now we're going to bring it into here, offset and slightly high. Okay, so what do? Start out with our hands again in our low defense position, so that they've got something to grab. We're going to move to the side and reposition while turning our hand over. And now we're going to bring it up into here so that we can do our Nikyu. And then we're going to move back in and apply, if you know how to apply. So again, just one more quick demonstration for elucidation purposes. We're going to turn their hand over and move in. And feed it in, using the back of our hand, feed it into this position. So it looks like this. We're here, we're coming over and re-targeting, turning our hand over, putting this on our chest, bring it in, back of wrist into position, then we can release it and slide in. Because this foot is now front, we don't have to step in. We're sliding in, repositioning, and sliding in. So let's break that down and do it a few times like that. Hand out. We slide to the 45, reposition, turning over. We put against our chest. We bring this up towards our chest as we come in to meet it. We release that hand, and then we're going to slide in back in front of their front toe. Again. Now those second two steps are really one step, but we're breaking it down, we have to do it like that. We slide in, turning over, chest, bring it to the chest, and slide in while applying. One more time like that. Slide in, turning it over, put this on our chest, bring it to our chest, and in. So there is no actually bringing to our chest. What we're actually doing is we're turning it over as we come in and bringing it in. So we're bringing our chest to them as we raise it up into position. Maybe hard to imagine if you haven't done it, so don't worry about that part. We want to iterate it like this. We slide in, turn, and bring it to position, and then slide back in again. And those of you who know how to apply, go ahead and apply. Ready? Itch. And back. Knee. And back. San. And back. Shi. And back. Go. And back. For those of you who are applying, one of the things I recommend, especially because you can't imagine uke so well, is to imagine pointing both your hands in the direction of the rotation. So when you have this wrist in this position, often we don't use our index fingers anyway, so it's handy to just point them just to get them out of the way. You've gripped their upturned hand like this, and now you can apply by pointing where you want the direction of the force to go, which is down, right? So you have to rotate it and down. So that's a good way of staying on target with how you're going to apply this. Ready? Chi. And back. Go. And back. Rook. And back. Sich. And back. Hatch. Back. Ku. And back. Ju. And back. Okay, let's do the other side. Now I know this is kind of abstract, so don't worry about it. If the only thing that you can figure out is doing the footwork, that's fine. If the only thing you can figure out is feeding the hand that's on your chest and staying there, that's fine. That's good practice too. So any one of these individual parts is perfectly fine to be concentrating on. So again, with the right hand forward, right foot forward, we're going to move, slide into the right and feed it into our hand. So it's just similar to doing this, except for we're turning over our hand as we do it and bringing the back of our hand in. Right, then we can switch positions, slide in, and apply. Again, right hand forward, they grab it, we come out to side. Now there was a thing, actually, if you remember, we were doing this with our kata gash, where we're feeding with our striking surface. This is basically the same thing. We can imagine feeding or almost striking. That's a position of power. So we can use that hip turn to bring their hand over and then feed it in and come in. So again, we come in, turn it over, feed it in, and then slide in, again inside their feet if possible. One more time, broken down. They grab, we push out to the side, bring it up, feed it into our waiting hand that's on our chest, come in and apply. Okay, so let's do that 10 times. Ready, itch, and back, knee, and back, san, and back, shi, and back, go, and back, rook, and back, sich, and back, hatch, and back, ku, and back, and ju, and back. We're going to do the same thing but from a cross hand. So again, I'm going to just tie off Uke's hand here so we don't twist all the way out. So now they've come cross hand. Why do they come cross hand? Because maybe that just happens to be the hand that's closest to you, but if they come cross hand, it's easier for them to attack you and have your other arm not available to defend yourself. So if of all the 3 attacks that we're suggesting here, this is the one that's the most dangerous because they've got more control over your body and over what they can do to them. So in essence, it's the smarter of the 3 attacks. I'm not saying it's necessarily smart, but they've come in and so they've grabbed cross hand. And again, our attitude is, oh, you've given me your hand, and your other hand is sort of out of commission because it's over there. So for the same reason that it feels like ours is out of commission, theirs can be out of commission as long as we rotate them. So what we want to do, as before, is we want to move to that off angle, so we're further away from their striking hand. And at the same time, they have grabbed us, and they're already on top of our hand. So we don't need to do the thing where we're turning our hand over and pointing our fingers at it. If we're like this and they're on top, they're already in a good position. So we just need to trap it. So the first thing we do when they grab our hand cross hand is we start to move and trap it at the same time. Right? So that way their hand comes with us, their other hand should stay away from us, and we're safe here. So all we're doing here is we're going to turn our hand back up like that. It's just a very small movement, so we don't really have to worry about it. And we're going to move to that same position as before, on the outside of them, right? We're not stepping in though, we're just shifting over so that we can come back in again on that same front foot. We trap their hand, so they've grabbed us. We can turn our hand over a little bit. This is just for the purpose of being able to move easier. It's harder to move when our hand is trapped sideways. Subtle, we don't have to worry too much about that. Trap their hand, come to the side, be in harmony, redirect. Right, so now we're pointing at them from the outside like this. We've trapped their hand, and now we can come in, over, and grab them. So, their hand is on top. We're going to bend our hand, come around, forward, come over the top, and grab them. So what it does, let me show you the opposite side. Trap the hand. We're going to do that thing, so we're touching their skin. We're going to come up the outside, over the top, and grab their hand. This is going to cause it to buckle, right? They're going to, as soon as we grab it and pull it, it's going to buckle because we're exerting a lot of pressure there, right? I'm trying to do a bird's eye view from the top. It's like this, right? So we've just taken the wrist that was straight to their arm, and we've come to the outside, and now it's bent. And it causes their elbow to bend too. So we just have to lean in. We don't really have to come in very far on this one. We just have to lean in a little bit and bend the knees to apply. This is a devastatingly dangerous thing to their wrist, so it's very easy to apply. Things to watch out for those seniors is that, again, you don't want to be too far over where their arm is outstretched. It becomes less easy. You want to be on that 45, and again come in towards the inside of their front toe and apply. This is one that we operate out from our body just because that's where our arms are, right? We don't want to be coming in here and trying to work there. Elbows against your chest is perfect. Then we can apply our body drop to this. And there's subtleties to how we apply it. We're not going to do that because, again, we don't have an uke. So, how do we do this? Cross hand wrist grab. We're going to do left foot forward first. So I'm going to do left foot. We're going to move to their outside. So we're going to come to the right, trap it, snake over the top, and come back in a little bit. So again, left foot forward, they grab, we slide to the right, redirect our hips, turn our hand over, we have it trapped at this side, so trap it, turn it over, bring it over the top, and then in. Left foot forward, they grab, we move to the side to the 45, redirect, turn your hand over, trap it, come over the top, grab it, and then come in and drop both knees, right? 60-40, 70-30, dropping into the front knee, right? So it's not just our standard body drop, but it's a forward in drop. And those of you who know how to apply this technique, we're also, crushing it by rotating it this way and dropping it down. So there's a three-pronged attack on their wrist. Don't worry about the details. So again, they grab our right or our left, and we're going to come to the outside, their outside, trap over the top, come in. So again, we can do this thing with our fingers. It's a good idea to do this because there's a tendency that people will trap like this, going across, and then if you point your fingers, you'll notice they're pointing in different directions. We want our fingers to be pointing in the same direction, so the trap is like this, and the execution is like that. So those of you executing, again, you can use those two fingers to point at the floor in front of your front toe. Again, left foot forward, left hand forward. So when we do this step to the right, we're going to go right foot, left foot. So you don't go front foot, back foot, because that puts you into this cross-stepping position. And we want to maintain our balance, so we go back foot, front foot, front foot, redirect, trap the hand, turn it over, come over the top, grab it, in, and apply. Again, one more time, broken down. Left hand out, step out with the right, left foot comes with, trap, turn over the top, come in and apply. Okay, so let's just do that, iterate it a few times. Ready, itch, and back, knee, and back, san, and back, shi, and back, go, and back, rook, and back, sich, and back, hatch, and back, ku, and back, ju, and back. Okay, switch sides, right hand forward, right foot forward. So again, same thing. They are grabbing and we're moving to their outside. Okay, so we're going to left foot, right foot, and make sure that we're redirecting. Imaginary uke, trap the hand, turn it over, come on top, in, and apply. Again, right foot forward, and trap the hand, come to the outside, in and apply. Again, right hand forward, right foot forward, left foot, right foot, redirect, come over the top, in and apply. One more time like that. Right hand forward, right foot forward, slide the left, bring the right, redirect, trap, come over the top, in and apply. Okay, so again, we do a lot of those things at the same time. So we trap, scoot, and apply. So we want to get into that position by the time we dead stop there, and then we can apply. So we don't have to break it down too much. So ready, like that, ready, itch, and back, knee, and back, san, and back, shi, and back, go, and back, rook, and back, sich, and back, hatch, and back, ku, and back, and ju, and back. The notion that you're turning like this and your back foot's turned out, so we kind of don't want that. We want to be able to keep our back foot only at about 25 degrees from our front foot. It's not a T-stance, it's not 90 degrees, and it's definitely not even wider than that. So when we step out and our back foot comes with, it has to also come into the right angle, or hominy angle. So now when we move forward, both our knees can bend together. If it's out like that and they bend, we end up doing kind of a squat, and we're very off balance. We can get knocked off quite easily. Whereas if they're both pointing forward, now we're becoming more solid and more connected to the ground. So that's why we practice, our hitch step pivot. This is basically like a hitch step pivot, right? We're going to be doing your knee cue from there. Okay, so almost out of time, so we need to start finishing up class. Good work, everybody. A little bit more abstract than some of our more obvious things when we're doing big throws or big sweeps where we can imagine it. The individual joint locks can be harder to practice on our own, but good work. Alright, so let's do some jumping jacks. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. And yeah. And twist right, left, right, left, into standing split, and do windmills. Remember to look at the ceiling each time. Sh, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, ku, and ju. And yame. So come into shikadach, drop your butt, elbows on your knees, and breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Straighten up your legs. Slowly chest to your right knee. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back down. Walk them in a little bit and squat. If you need to keep your hands on the ground, that's fine. Just make sure that your heels are on the ground. Drop your right knee, left, toe raises, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Hands on the mat, drop your knees into Eizan, twist right, left, make your snow plow with your hands, put it on the mat. So we're coming forward, remember try and keep your butt on the ground and as little weight as possible on your hands until you get to a point of no return and you have to start putting weight on them. And stretch forward. Keep your butt on your heels. And up. Of course, if you can't do it, do the closest approximation to it as you can. Move your heels out a little bit so your butt can come between them and go back. Again, whatever you got is good. Come up. Hands behind your head. Elbows in. Try and touch the mat with your elbows, or better if you can touch your head off the mat while keeping your butt on your heels. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Flare your elbows, touch the mat to the side. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist right, left, feet in front, reach deep, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist right, left, and into position for crunches. On your back, bring your feet against your butt, and fists by your cheekbones. Again, if you're unsure, it's always good to just literally touch your knuckles against your cheekbones and keep them there, or touch them every iteration so you know that they're there. So support your head if you have to, but preferably not. So this way you can strengthen your neck muscles. And ready, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, and ju, and stretch it out. Shake loose, whatever you need to shake loose. And back into position, this time cross your ankles, elbows to opposite knee. Hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, and stretch it out again. And come back to Eizan, and twist right, left, forward, back, up, hands by your cheekbones, leg raises, knees to chest, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, ju, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hitch, ku, and ju, and shake it loose, and twist right, left, right, left, any way you need it, and I think we're good there. So Eizan, or standing moxo, moxo, So yeah, mate. How to get the exam started. And thanks again for joining me. Hope to see you next time.